Um, okay, cool. Let me just check and see what I have here. So yeah, on our little schedule, day 17 is, and this week is talking about like the fire element and like tapping in and tuning into our own like inner power, and that looks different for everyone. We all generate, anatomically. I mean, a lot of times, like our power is going to generate from like our root, then our sacral, and we generate power this way. But in terms of our most powerful energetic centers, right? I don't know too much about human design, but we're all different and we all have very unique, um, powers. And so, in terms of like what, where we are most lit up, I'm somebody who generates a lot of power from my sacral, quite literally like as a generator.
Mhm.
So, today is really going to be focused on igniting our own inner power and being able to, right, step forth with that. You can go out after today and feeling confident, feeling courageous, right? Like when we talk about when you're standing in your power, you hear that term a lot, that phrase. What does that mean and what does that, feel like? And that's different for every individual. Um, Let me just go into my notes here and find.
I'm gonna go on mute now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go into my notes here because I had things. I had it all set. Hold on. I lost it. I hope everybody is doing well this morning also. I'm like just coming back from my vision quest, so I'm still in this
Right,
sort
right.
of delicate.
Share with the class.
Yeah, I'm still feeling like really delicate, just in terms of a lot of things. It's being in ceremony for an entire week and then coming back to the real world. I'm like, I noticed like I could only be in public for like an hour, just because I was surrounded by bugs and trees and like I had nothing else, and so to come back online is really, and just online here, just online everywhere is really interesting.
The tricks.
Yeah, it's a trip for sure.
Would you want to stay in like an extended environment like that after what you experienced?
Oh man, well, what it was really hard to do that. Like it was
Because like you
what I
had
did.
no phone, you weren't in touch with
I
anybody.
was, no food, no water. I had a
Right.
tarp sleeping bag.
Okay, that I don't know. I love food.
I could only move in like a limited amount of space. It was really tough, but I think that anytime you're in ceremony in general, right? If anybody here has ever been in ceremony, right, for an extended period of time, like, even if it's a full day or if like you've had a whole weekend of ceremony, right, where you don't have these external, um, there's not that like deep connection there. You're really connecting into something deeper, into something yourself, something more, right?
Right.
Through whatever that is. Ceremony for sure it it is and it can be, very life-changing for anyone who has experienced, right, like ceremony, because you create that space in which you're now connecting to not only parts of yourself, but other parts of spirit, the divine, right? And that really I don't even know how to I don't even know how to describe it. It's definitely something that when you're coming out of, right, you have to be gentle with yourself about, because when we walk back into the mundane, it is then that we, really have to learn how to balance that really ceremonial, spiritual self and also the mundane self. And it can be really difficult to not just get bankrolled back into, what is happening in our very real mundane world. Um, and it also can be very difficult to not want to just like stay in this ceremonial, spiritual, right, out there world. So how do we marry those two? And I think that that is, for anybody here, anybody doing these kriyas and doing, sadhana every day, that's what we're doing. We're marrying by doing this daily, this is in a sense a ceremonial space, where we are connecting to the divine parts of ourself. And then we're able to take this energy, we're able to take these things and we apply them to our life, whether it's focus, the energy that we create. So this daily practice is really good for things like that. And when I was out there, I was just sitting on my sleeping bag and tarp. There were times where I was doing, some of the kriyas and not to the same degree, right, as we do in sadhana, but because I was like, this is whenever I was feeling like I needed movement, I needed connection, I was maybe feeling more disconnected, you know, I would do the Kriya and it was like it really did bring me back into this sense of like being. Um, so yeah,
Beautiful.
I feel like that's all I can really share. I'm still processing a lot of things, but just in general, if um, what we're all doing is really important. And I think it makes the biggest difference, when we are trying to just find that balance between spirituality and the mundane and how to actually see and perceive the mundane as spiritual, right? Because everything is sacred. Everything is sacred. And when we can view just our mundane as the most sacred of acts, that's when I think that we've really, made I feel like that's when you've kind of like made it, so to speak. You wash the dishes and you're like, this is the most sacred thing I'm gonna do all day. And then you move on to the next thing, putting the dishes away. This is the most sacred thing I'm gonna do all day, and it just becomes a way of life.
You tell my son that.
It's learned through experience, learned through experience. Oh, okay, hold on, I guess
All right,
my,
and blow you
yeah,
up here and then go on.
cool. Let me, well, I'm blown up. That's crazy. Okay. I think we'll be good. Okay. All right. My computer speakers are a little fucked up, so I'm not gonna play any music. So sorry.
You want me to play like Shruti box or something or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't mind not having music. I'm also like I haven't listened to music in I don't know over a week now, so
Oh God.
um
Right. There is no
other than drumming and singing, so
hmm
um but we will find a nice and well Leia's queuing that up. We'll find a nice and easy seated position, sit bones planted firmly on the floor, and you can take a, full bind if you want, or a half, or just feet nice and easy together like that. We'll go ahead and we'll start tuning in. Take an inhale, and as you do, lift the shoulders up to the ears, and on the exhale, roll them back and down the spine. Feeling the crown of your head slowly lift. Your spine is nice and tall, and you can feel your sit bones planted on the floor. We'll just take a few breaths here to acknowledge our presence. Palms can rest on the tops of the thighs, on the knees. And if it feels safe for you, go ahead and close the eyes down or just let the gaze drop off the tip of the nose or to the floor. Taking stock of where you're at this morning. We'll take one more deep inhale and exhale, and then we'll do our Adi mantra. And exhale. And if you would like, you can go ahead and bring the hands into a Venus lock at the base of the spine here, or keep the palms on the knees. We'll take an inhale and Adi mantra. Om Namo Buddhaye Namo. Inhale. Om Namo Buddhaye Namo. Last one, inhale. Om Namo Buddhaye Namo. Go ahead and inhale, reach the hands above the head, stretch through the fingertips all the way through the middle finger. And on the exhale, release the hands down behind the spine. Go ahead and lift the chest and do some light chest circles here, lifting through the heart. Keep the chin lifted as well. Want to stretch through the first of the front body. Go ahead and keep that circle here, and we can take it into a Sufi grind if you need to. Start to send the breath to all parts of the back of the spine, the rib cage. Start tuning into your navel center. You're taking Sufi grinds. Just assess where you're at, your low back is at. Go ahead and switch directions. Awesome. And we'll go ahead and we'll take it up into tighter circles and just directing with the navel. If you need to, for more focus, you can go ahead and place your hand right on your belly button, your finger right on your belly button. We'll go ahead and just for 15-20 seconds, we want to meditate on this space, on the moving of this space, visualizing the energy of our navel center swirling, being sent up the spine, really starting to tune in to the organs of our body. And that just means a generating of awareness of what the body is telling us this morning. Maybe it's fatigue. Maybe there wasn't enough water that you drank yesterday, right? There's pains or there's crampings. Pay attention to that. Go ahead and place the hands On the knees, we're going to inhale, lift the chest, open the throat. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, lift the chest. Press the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine. Last time, inhale, press the heart forward. We're going to do a slow breath of fire. Exhale. In the spinal flexion, just to start waking up our spinal center. On your next inhale, we'll go ahead and slow breath of fire. While I was out there, I was actually doing this one quite a lot to start to wake up my mid back, my low back, and my traps. And also really tune into my heart. And I noticed that doing this at a slower pace for me, again, I have no food, no water. It's not about the pace at which we move, but it's about the steadiness, right? And that's where power of any kind really generates from, is how steady can you be? How balanced are you? When we're moving from a powerful state, we're moving from a place of real steadiness. "15 seconds. Go ahead and inhale. And on the exhale, bring the palms down, shoulders over the wrists. Go ahead and find a neutral spine, but I want you to really focus on pressing through the palms of the hands, bringing a slight bend into the fingers, allowing each fingertip to feel firmly, powerfully, right, steadily on the floor. We're really pressing the shoulder blades away, but not rounding the spine here. Go ahead and pull the belly button towards the back of the spine. Inhale, drop the belly, open through the heart space, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round the spine. You can let the head be long if you want. Inhale, lift the belly. Open the throat. Exhale, tuck the chin to the chest. Last one here. Inhale, lift. And exhale, spread the shoulder blades apart. Push the floor away from you. And also feel the power of the knees here. We'll take some barrel circles here. Feeling into the sides of the body. You would like to bring the hips forward and send the hips back into a more full body circle. We'll do a couple of these before starting our first, a little bit more of an intense Kriya. Notice where the wrists are at, the edges of the thumb, the pinky fingers. Go ahead and switch if you've been circling. And we'll go ahead and we'll cross our legs. And vertebrae by vertebrae, we'll find ourselves onto the floor on our back. So we're going to do some kriyas to stimulate our creative energy, which when I think of power, I think of creativity. So for those of you who have shoulder stand in your practice, we're going to start in a shoulder stand. And for those of you who don't, where you can keep your legs up, and you'll just be doing the this part. We're going to be kicking our legs. You'll just be doing this for longer because we're going to oscillate between. So to start, we'll go ahead and you can use a little bit of a rock. We'll go ahead and kick up into shoulder stand. And what we're going to do is we're going to kick our butt. And this is to help stimulate that sexual creative energy. We're only going to be here for about a minute and a half. So go ahead and inhale and exhale. Shoulder stand, kicking butt. So the exhales come on the kicks, and as you're switching your legs, you have that small inhale. We're meditating on that sacral center. Only 30 more seconds. Go ahead and rest. Bring the bottom down to the floor. Keep the legs lifted here. The hands can plant onto the floor, and you can either flex or point through the toes. We'll just take a few deep inhales and exhales. So we're going to do the same thing, except this time keeping our bottoms planted firmly on the ground. Like I said, if shoulder stand is not in your practice or not in your practice today, you'll just be in this position longer. We'll go ahead and take an inhale and exhale. Kicking butt Kriya. Give me a challenge.
Lifted here?
No, we're our bottoms are on the floor. This one.
Oh, okay.
Yep. It can feel like a challenge to be squeezing Mula Bandha in this position. But the way that I always see things, especially when this back part of ourselves is exposed, is that's when we need to squeeze that energy the most. We need to squeeze that energetic center the most because it is exposed, right? It's in a vulnerable position. And sometimes when we are just feeling very vulnerable, right, that can have an impact on the way that we move, how we move forward, and also our ability to just like recognize our power. And vulnerability itself is a power. 15 more seconds here. Go ahead and bring the feet down and relax. You can windshield wiper the knees. We're going to do 2 more rounds of this Kriya, of this specific one, but be gentle with yourself. You know, if you need to take breaks, take breaks. Like Leah said yesterday, it's absolutely, you know, okay. We're building resilience, we're building strength, we're building, you know, resistance. So we'll take a few deep breaths here to prepare for our shoulder stand kicking Kriya. Inhale deeply through the nose. You can even stretch the arms up if you would like. And exhale, release. On your next inhale, go ahead and kick up into a shoulder stand. Take an inhale, exhale, slow breath of fire kicking butt. This also helps to aid in digestion, as well as shoulder stand itself is really good for any types of depression or when we're needing a different point of view, any stagnancy in the body or in any of our bodies, our spiritual, emotional, mental body. Thirty more seconds. Go ahead and relax. Bring it down onto the floor. Keep the legs lifted here, but the bottom falls to the floor. You can take some ankle circles if you need. All right, get ready. We're going to go for 1 minute. Inhale, exhale, slow breath of fire, kicking butt, Kriya.
No, 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 not with this. No, no.
Go ahead and pause, bring the knees down. Feel free to windshield wiper. You can even take the knees to the chest and take them in a circle here. But keep the deep breaths going. We want to keep that energy circulating. Again, it doesn't matter how fast. It's about being steady. Feel free to go the other way. Awesome. Last round of this. So we'll take an inhale. You can reach the palms above the head for a big stretch. Exhale, release, bring them down. On your next inhale, go ahead and kick the feet up. Make sure that the hands are supporting the low back here. Take an inhale. And exhale. Low breath of fire, kicking your butt. If concentrating on that navel and sacral point is a little too difficult, feel free to bring that inner vision to the third eye, focusing on the third eye here. Taking note of what you might see and just how this can stimulate that pineal gland as well. Right, when we're talking about creativity and we're talking about power, we're also speaking about an inner vision and being able to visualize ourselves in spaces, being able to enact a vision that we have that comes from within. "15 more seconds here. Go ahead and relax. Take it down. Keep that movement though in the legs or the low body. And we'll go ahead and inhale, lift the feet. Take an exhale. Slow breath of fire, kicking butt. Really use the power of the diaphragm and of the belly here for the breath. It's not just a passive, right? It can be easy, I should say, to slip into a more passive breath of fire. We really want to engage our core here. Feel the strength and the power of the thighs, of the feet. 20 seconds. Go ahead and inhale. Press through the balls of the feet. Spread the toes apart. And exhale, go ahead and bring it down. Supta Baddha Konasana. We'll take 10 deep Ujjayi breaths here. Opening through the hips. You want to allow that slight round in the spine here. Press the feet together. Really feel both feet pressing together firmly in an even way. And then when you're ready, you can draw the knees into the belly, and then we'll go ahead and find a seated position. We'll go ahead and come to a rock posture. We'll take Venus lock, so interlace the fingers together and the thumbs come over top one another, placing it at our sacral center. Squeezing Mula Bandha here. Squeezing Mula Bandha, you can bring the gaze down off the tip of the nose or close the eyes. Bring the shoulders up, back, and down. The crown is lifted. Squeezing Mula Bandha here, we're going to take just deep Ujjayi breaths and meditating on that power, on the power being generated from our sacral, where our Venus lock is at. Venus also has to do with the water element because it's a watery planet. It's about our beauty, it's our relationships. And so what is our relationship to power? And also, you know, the beauty, like the beautification of our power. Sometimes when we think of power, you know, we might think of things that are not beautiful, or just in general that it has to be hard and fast and strong. And the things that are also soft can be just as strong and just as powerful. Start to bring a slow circle from just below the belly, stimulating that sacral center up into the belly. Very slow, very controlled. We'll go ahead and we'll inhale, lift the arms. And then on the exhale, we're going to make fists and pull the arms in. So we did something very similar yesterday. Inhale. On the exhale. And if it's helpful, you can send the breath out through the lips, but really purse them together so it really only comes out through the teeth. Inhale. Exhale. Breath of fire here. Keeping that gaze either off the tip of the nose or closed. Really squeezing Mula Bandha here. Sending the energy up to the back of the head and the front of the pineal gland. Or I should say the front of the head where your pineal gland is at. Really stimulating that inner fire. "15 seconds. Go ahead and bring the arms in. Hands can come to the sides. If you need to take a cooling breath, go ahead and take the tongue and fold it. And inhale and exhale through the mouth. This helps us to cool the energy centers down. Beautiful. We'll go ahead and we'll find a seated position. With legs stretched outwards. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our life nerve stretch. So go ahead and inhale, reach the arms above the head, pull the toes back towards you. And then on the exhale, bow forward. If you need to bring the hands to the shins, you can. If you're able to grab the big toe. We'll take an inhale here and we'll lift. And on the exhale, go ahead and fold in. If you need to bend into the knees a little bit here and so that the chest rests on the belly, perfectly acceptable, perfectly all right. We're gonna take our life nerve stretch Kriya here. Inhale, lift, exhale, release. This is a breath of fire. This Kriya also helps to stimulate and access our inner beauty. So when we can see ourselves as powerful, as beautiful beings, right? And beauty is not subjective at all. It's completely objective. In my personal opinion, everything can and is beautiful is beautiful in its own way. And so when we can recognize our inner beauty with the power of our inner vision, we're also able to see the beauty of others and how that allows for us to see others as equals, and to really recognize, again, our own inner power so that it's not about overpowering someone else. It's not about being better or worse than somebody else, but a recognition that we're all different, that we all have our own unique expression of what power and beauty is. Go ahead and inhale, reach the hands above the head. Press through the feet, point, 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 and exhale, release. Sweep the arms down, inhale. Sweep the arms up, exhale, release. Arms come back, inhale, sweep them up, exhale, release. Last time, inhale, exhale, release. Go ahead and we'll go ahead and once again come onto our back, vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll press the feet into the floor. Go ahead and inhale, lift the hips here. The shoulder blades can come underneath the back. Send the hips towards the sky. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift the hips. I encourage you to come onto the toes if you can. Lift, lift, lift. Chin comes to the chest. Squeeze the glutes together and exhale, release. Go ahead and lift the legs here. We have a leg lift. So it's gonna come to a 90 degrees, all the way to like a 45 and back up to a 90. You can feel free to press through the ball of the foot or point through the foot, but whichever you choose, make sure that the foot is being activated so that we really feel the power of the thighs, the calves, the ankles. Palms come down to the floor. Take an inhale. And exhale, go ahead and lower. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Breath of fire. If you want to go ahead and lift the head, you can. You can also leave the head on the ground. Remember, it's not about the speed, but it's about the consistency, the stability, the steadiness. Your head is lifted and you want to bring the hands behind the neck for support. Keep up and you will be kept up, as Leah says. And this is true. When we can push ourselves past where we think our limits are, we can really show ourselves also our true power, our ability to hold and to create. 10 more seconds. Go ahead and relax, take it down. You can take the knees into a circle. Do that one more time. You can even shake the legs out. Go ahead and we'll plant the feet down. Inhale, lift the heels just to stretch through the front of the body. Big deep breaths here. Exhale, release it down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift the hips. Come onto the toes. Press, press, press up towards the sky. Exhale, release. We'll go ahead and we'll lift the feet. We'll take an inhale, lower, and exhale, send it up. Breath of fire here. Really focus on also pressing that navel into the floor. If you need some activation, help activating that, you can take your hands and send it right underneath your middle low back, as if you're squeezing your fingers into the floor. This is also really great for digestion, so you might notice some things wanting to pass in your body, allow them to. "30 seconds. Go ahead and relax, shake it out. And take the legs down. You can go ahead and bring the left over the right for a spinal twist. The arms come out to the side. Inhale, take it back towards center, uncross the legs, and then take the right leg over top the left. Fall over towards the left side. Go ahead and take it back up towards center, and then extend the right leg over to the right side, left leg over to the left. Your final asana for tonight, Shavasana today, excuse me. Allow the body to relax. Start to bring some feeling back into the fingertips, the hands and the wrists, the feet, the toes, the ankles. You can go ahead and reach the arms above the head, squeeze everything in the body for a good morning stretch. And then exhale, release. An invitation to bring the knees in for one last final squeeze, and then fall to either side for a yogi fetal posture. On your next inhale, go ahead and find a seated position. We'll end our Kriya today. And bring the hands to heart center. Press the hands firmly together so you feel each corner of the finger, of each finger. You feel the palm, you feel, the middle of the hand. Really feeling the stability of the wrist. I like to end all of my practices with a little saying, where we bow to all of those that came before us as a recognition of the power that exists in all of our lines, energetic, blood, spiritually and otherwise. A recognition of the power in others is a recognition of the power in ourselves. So take a deep inhale and exhale. I bow to those that come before us in land and in sea, in blood and bone, and in heart and spirit. Satnam Namaste. Thanks, everybody.
Beautiful practice. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah.